in St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. Today's date is Thursday, May 13th, 2021. Time is 14:40 hours. So in reference to case number SJSO 21OFF004305. Person I'll be interviewing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's Adolphus, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you say your full name for the record, please?
Adolphus Ray Absher III.
Okay, but you go by Trey, correct?
Yes, sir.
And just, I've seen different spellings. How do you spell Trey?
T-R-E.
T-R-E, okay. So, do you mind if I call you Trey?
You can call me Trey.
Okay. Also present is attorney. Could you?
Yep, attorney Brittany Souls and David Taylor via telephone.
Okay. And also your father's here too, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is your father here?
Yep.
Sir, could you please identify yourself by your full name?
Father Adolphus Ray Absher Jr.
Okay. And kind of before we begin, I just want to confirm that you've made this appointment to come in here and speak to us voluntarily, correct?
Yes, sir.
And no one's forced you, threatened you, or coerced you to come in here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your father's present, so also the next thing I'm going to do is place you under oath. Well, before I do that, just understand you're here as a witness. You're not here as a suspect at this point. I have nothing that I would even consider charging you with at this point, so you're not suspected of committing any crimes. Okay. I am going to ask you some questions about possible drug use as it relates to this investigation. I'm not interested in charging you with any of it. If you used drugs in the past, I can't charge you with that anyway, so I'm not looking at any kind of criminal repercussions, okay? So do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At this point in time, I'm going to place you under oath. If you please raise your right hand for me. This will be a sworn law enforcement interview. There's to be a sworn recorded interview taken by a law enforcement deputy pursuant to Florida Statute 117.10. Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
All right, thank you. I know you've had a lot going on this week, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of things come out through social media and through news media outlets. I'm sure you've been bombarded probably. I can't imagine being in your position from what I know about it, okay? But what I spoke to your attorney about beforehand was, at this point in time, we don't have any reason to suspect you had any involvement in any of this, in the specific incident that happened. We think you may have information that may help us out with it. Okay, you understand that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I spoke to your attorney about is that I understand it may be awkward talking about some of these things in front of your father. I just need you to be completely upfront and honest with me, and I'm sure he would appreciate that as well.
Yes, sir.
I would appreciate your help in this, okay? And really it's to help you out, okay? Just to make sure that there's nobody else that can say that you had any involvement in what happened with Tristan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I guess to get started, can you kind of explain to me background information, like how long you've known Aiden, how long you've known Tristan?
I've known Aiden for about a year. The first day that I attended Patriot Oaks Academy, we became friends within the first 5 minutes, and we hung out every day for like the past 2 weeks. Not the past 2 weeks, but the first 2 weeks I was there.
The first 2 weeks you were there? Okay. So I want to kind of do is tell you kind of what I'm looking for basically, and I'm just going to let you just explain to me everything that you can. It kind of goes off, the tip of your tongue, goes off of, your memories. Just, I'm going to let you just kind of talk for a little bit and kind of explain, and then I'll have some follow-up questions after that, okay? So I'm just looking for background information, how long you've known Aiden, how long you've known Tristan, what, your relationship is like with each of them individually, as a group, if you hang out as a group, and kind of what led up to the events of this past weekend.
So, me and Aiden are, I have a group of friends, which is me, Aiden, and his girlfriend, Zophie.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all pretty close. We all hang out as much as we can, and they're together every day, and if I'm not there. Tristan, I would hang out with her more alone, or with, if I had somebody staying the night, she'd come over, and it'd be the three of us. Because Aiden, I have hung out with Aiden and Tristan before at my house 2 to 3 times already, and everything was perfectly fine. Like, nothing ever seemed peculiar. He's never said he was going to do anything, or nothing ever came up. And that, like, that's why I got this, like, was a curveball to me, because, I mean, Aiden has said, like, some messed up stuff to me, like, to Zophie, saying he was going to do things, but you don't really take any of that stuff serious as coming from a teenager.
Mm.
And he has said he said, like, his knife, he wanted to, like, slit somebody's throat. And, like, he said it'd be satisfying. He's talked about killing people. He's talked about fighting people. I've seen him practice stabbing motions with his knife. And, I mean, you don't really take any of this stuff as in he's going to stab and kill somebody, because he's just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We're all just kids. And our group, I mean, we joke around about stuff. And we have a little bit of dark humor, but nothing like that. Nobody ever says they're going to hurt anybody or kill anybody.
Okay. So I'm going to circle back to a couple things, but let's just keep going about what happened this past weekend. Starting with, did anything happen in school on Friday or Thursday, or any kind of conversations between the three of you about anything that's going on?
No, Tristan said that they had a conversation in a class, but she didn't really give me any details on what they were talking about.
Who is they?
Tristan and Aiden. They
Okay.
have one class together. And, I mean, that's kind of their time. I mean, I don't really know what they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it's just...
So things in school were normal?
Yeah, there's nothing ever weird
Nothing
in school.
out of the ordinary? What about after school?
After school, we usually hang out every day. If I'm not hanging out with them, I'm with Caleb. So, I've talked to Zophie, like I called her, I just wanted to check on her to see how she was doing, because they were in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that he said he was going to kill somebody within the month. And he said he was going to, like, he would kill her. He's talked about stabbing people, killing people. And I was just like, he said he was going to kill somebody this month, and then this happens.
When did he make that comment about wanting to kill somebody this month?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was towards the beginning, but that's not for certain. That's not a fact.
The beginning of April or the beginning of May?
April, more than likely.
Okay.
Because that month, it was more of them hanging out than I was.
Mm.
It was more of just them, and I was with Caleb most of the time, my other friend.
Who did he make that comment to?
He never said he was going to kill, she never said that he was going to kill somebody, in particular. He just said somebody.
Right, but that comment that he was going to kill somebody within a month, who did he make that comment to?
He made that to his girlfriend, Zophie.
Okay. So we're going to circle back to that, but let's go to Saturday night. What all happened Saturday night?
Saturday night, I currently got suspended from school, so I wasn't able to go anywhere. And Aiden came over around 8 after he got done hanging out with Zophie. He came around 8 o'clock, 8:20ish. And he was there for a couple hours. And then me and him decided we were going to smoke some weed. So we went outside, and the blanket that y'all took,
Mm-hmm.
me and him were sitting on. So me and him were outside, and then I thought about Tristan, because I always invite her if I have people over.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, if it's Caleb or if it's Aiden or if it's Zophie or all of them, I always invite her over. So I called her. I was like, Aiden, do you want Tristan to come over? And he was just like, I don't care, sure. So I called her, I invited her over. And then one of my other friends called me, Ansley. And so I was like, okay, Tristan, I'll call you back. And then I was on the phone with her. And then Aiden was like, can I call her? Can you give me your number real quick? And I was just like, sure. I thought he was going to call her to see where she's at. So he called her, and he convinced her to leave before, her sister went upstairs to go to bed. So her sister caught her sneaking out that night. And then she got there, she was freaking out. She was like, oh my God, they caught me, she's going to tell my parents. And then Aiden's just like, you're good, you're fine. Nothing's going to happen. So At the time, before she got there, I finished up. I went inside. Aiden came inside. It was cold. That's why he had put on my hoodie. He left that night in my hoodie. So
Can you describe that hoodie for me?
it was.
I think that was your phone that was beeping.
He was. It's a black hoodie that says Death Valley on it, and it has cactuses, like a bull skull. And that night he was wearing pants, that hoodie, and black high tops. Not black high top, white Nike high tops with a black Nike symbol.
Okay. Okay, so just for your reference there, Trey just described the clothing that Aiden was wearing that night.
And I know the shoes because when we were skating outside and he took off the hoodie and left that one in my garage, he borrowed a pair of my Vans to put on because we were outside practicing skating.
Okay, when did he borrow those Vans? What day was that?
Oh, that was the same day.
Saturday?
They were in the house still.
Okay. So he borrowed your Vans to skate, and then he put his Nikes back on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when he left your house, he was wearing, and could you describe, so he was wearing your black Death Valley hoodie,
Yes, sir.
and he was wearing, you said, was he wearing jeans, you said?
Not jeans. He always wears sweatpants.
Sweatpants, okay.
I think they're not jeans, they're rather sweatpants or a pair of shorts, one that he was wearing that morning, but I'm like positive it was sweatpants. All I know is that he was wearing Death Valley hoodie and the high tops. Those I'm for sure certain on.
So you're not certain about the pants that he was wearing or shorts?
I'm pretty sure they were pants, but that's not a fact.
Okay.
But I remember skating and he had on pants because he fell, and he was like, I'm glad I was wearing pants because he like fell right on his knees.
Okay. So you said you were on the phone with Ansley, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was that a FaceTime call?
Yes, FaceTime.
Okay. And what time, can you remember about what time you made that call?
12, between 12 and 12:30. And I called her again after I went back inside. Because Aiden was like, hang up the phone, and he hung up on her.
So you were FaceTiming with Ansley while Aiden and Tristan were there?
Tristan was not there yet.
Tristan was not there yet. Okay. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, so Aiden comes over, you said around 8 o'clock, 8:20ish maybe, and you and him were hanging out, and you and him were sitting outside on the blanket smoking the marijuana?
Yeah, that was around 12. It was CBD, if you know
CBD,
what that is.
yeah.
It was around...
Was it through like a vaping device?
No, it was the thing. It was actual.
Okay.
So around 11:30ish is whenever we went outside to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So then we did that. It hit 12, and then that's when we were like, we're done. So then I was like, hey, should Tristan come over? He was just like, yeah. So then we went back inside. So we went inside because it was cold outside. He put on my hoodie, and we were laying under my blanket. I called Ansley again because after he hung up on her outside, and I told her I'd call her back. Mm-hmm. So I went back inside, FaceTimed her again. We were on the phone, and then I was starting to nod off. I was extremely tired the whole day. Mm-hmm. So then he called her already outside, got her to sneak out, and she got caught by her sister, and she was on the way to the house. Mm-hmm. So then she came in. Them two went outside on the blanket around the back. Because I have my room here and there's a door. Mm-hmm. So they went around and right here by my window and we're on the blanket. So then she said, I'm going to call my boyfriend. And I was like, okay. And I got off the phone. And then...
Ansley said she's going to call her boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then I got up, went back outside. And then I took another hit off of the CBD. And then I was like, it's too cold out here. I'm going back inside. Mm-hmm. So I went back inside. And then I was scrolling through TikTok on my phone, and I fell asleep. And then they came back in and woke me up. And when they came back in, because the door's loud, I was like, y'all should go, because I'm falling asleep. And Tristan, she'll wait to get, she won't leave. She'll sit there for hours until, I tell her to leave. Mm-hmm. So she sat, I told them to leave. They left, and then I just went back to sleep. And then everything else is whenever, the next day, whenever I found out by the cops.
Do you know about what time Aiden and Tristan left?
1:10. between 1 and 1:10. Because my phone was still on because it was just replaying the same TikTok.
Okay.
She got there around 12, 20 to 30, 40 within that 30-minute range. She was only there for like maybe half an hour, 20, 15 minutes.
Okay. So while it was just you and Aiden there, what was the conversation like?
It was just the usual bro hangout that we usually have. I was on the phone with Ansley. He was geeking that I liked her. Geeking as in laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a usual thing. He was just like, bro, CBD sucks. We were talking about that. He didn't have any of his own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've touched weed in a while. Because it's not because I've gotten in trouble in it for the past. And I don't want to like get put no friends, no nothing, no phone, anything like that. So it was just a regular thing. I played my game I played my game of 4 for a little bit.
Your game of 4?
No, my game before she got there.
You played your game?
A little bit, yeah.
What game?
God of War.
Okay. Was that on your phone or?
PS4. Because I have my table right here and the bed's like on the floor.
Okay.
So I played that.
When you and Aiden are at the house, before Tristan gets there, you guys are just having your normal bro time. You're on the phone with Ansley. He's laughing about it, and you're playing a game.
Nah, I wasn't. I played the game at like 9.
Okay.
So I was just saying I was playing the game during that, and he was on his phone.
Okay.
He never talked anything about anything. It was just the usual stuff.
Okay. Did they say anything about where they were going to go after they left?
I just told them to leave, and then rolled back over, and I heard the door open, and they both left.
Okay.
Because that's why I was just like, why would she keep going? Because usually she'd want to go home.
Mm-hmm. Did Tristan say anything, or what kind of conversations did Tristan have when she got there?
They went outside. I didn't have it was mainly Aiden and Tristan's time.
Okay.
I was maybe with Tristan around 10 minutes the entire time.
Okay.
Because I went out there for a minute, and then I came back inside, and then when they came back inside, I told them to leave. So I didn't really spend a lot of time with her. I didn't really have too much conversation with her.
Okay. So when you went to bed and they left, you said they left about 1 o'clock to 1:10.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next thing that happened?
The next day or that night?
Yeah, as far as, that night, as far that you have direct knowledge of.
That night, he never texted me, never called me. When I woke up, I went with Dad around the usual day we would have. Woke up, we went to...
So what time did you wake up?
He wakes me up around like 9.
Around 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
So woke up around 9. I thought Aiden was home, Tristan was home. I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay.
And we've been talking about building this fun box for a while for skating, so we went to Home Depot, got that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the garage is open, we're out there building it and stuff, and the cops pulled up. And then
So you woke up about 9. What time did you leave to go to Home Depot?
I think around 10.
Okay. So you go to Home Depot, and I'm trying to bring it back up. So you go to Home Depot, you get the stuff to build this fun box for skating, and then you said the police showed up?
Yeah, they got up. They were there around 11. They got there around 11 when we got back, and the thing was already. We're waiting for the glue to dry on it.
Okay. So did you try to communicate with Aiden or Tristan that morning? Between waking up and going to Home Depot and before the cops got there?
Okay. I didn't snap him, text him, or anything. Me and him don't really communicate over Snapchat at all. If we talk, we'd either FaceTime and like, okay, you want to come to my house, your house, or Sophie's house. Like, we didn't have streaks or anything.
Didn't have what?
Streaks. This one had, like, how many days y'all snap back and forth.
Okay. So at 11 o'clock in the morning, when the police show up to your house, do you know why the police are there?
I was like really scared for a minute. I was like, are they here because like I did something? My dad did something. Do they think we did something? I didn't know. And then they said Tristan Bailey went missing last night, and her parents reported her missing. And I was just like, oh god. I was like, oh god. I was just like, did she run away? Did she She come home, left again. Is she with Aiden? I didn't know.
Okay. So walk me through what happens after the police come up to your house and ask you about Tristan. What happens after that?
I try to get in contact with her immediately. I FaceTimed her like 10 times, texted her after all that, and then I called Aiden and I was just like, do you know what happened last night? He just said he dropped her off at the front of at the front of her neighborhood, and he went home. I thought he was on a skateboard. I told the cops he skated home